Hi, welcome to Fox Valley. Today I'm Barb Nadeau. My guest today is Linda Brodine. She's an author and so much more, but she's here today to talk about her new book, Quilt-Stories. It's actually the start of something big. You know, I feel like this is one of those days where this is just the start of something big. Linda's here with her first book, Grandma, Please Tell Us a Story, and her website is quilt-stories.com, telling you that this is the start of something new and there's more coming. And Linda, I'm really excited to talk to you about your stories and your book and what you're doing. So thank you for being here.
Thank you, Barb.
You are already, I'm intrigued because you have had a long career working in community service organizations. You were the head of the United Way in LaSalle County. You now are coming to us out of St. Charles area, but you've been someone who's worked in publishing, in communications for a long time. Yeah. And so that type of person is someone who is always at work and always thinking and scheming what's the next. I mean, you have to be very flexible in there's no such thing as work hours because there's always a project going on.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, as soon as my feet hit the floor in the morning, I'm on, and I think that probably stemmed from way back when. I had 4 kids in 5 years, and it just was always busy. Always a very busy time where I had to think on my feet, and my children were always looking for guidance and stories and you know, a sense of direction. So,
and I have a feeling that you raised your kids with enough really wonderful stories that they're going to carry the stories on, you know, and be creative. Your kids are grown now and you have grandkids?
Yes. My children are all grown and married, and each one of them has at least 2 children, and yeah, they now talk a lot about their life growing up in the country. It was just a wonderful experience, the wide open spaces where you could just run out the door in the morning, have lunch, run back out, come back for dinner, and there was a wonderful sense of freedom.
And that's something I think that's missing right now. You and I were talking before the show about imagination, and one of the things I noticed about your book is there's a lot of imagination in there where you're not necessarily reading what someone else did, but the stories that you told your kids and your grandkids, they could go anywhere. You didn't know where they were going to end up or who the main character was going to be. Welcome back. We're talking with Linda Brodine. She is the author of Grandma, Please Tell Us the Story, the first in a series of quilt stories. And this one has like 8 stories of imagination. Some of them, I think, as you said, are history from your family. Some of them are imagination from your kids and grandkids.
Yes.
How many more quilt stories do you think are going to be coming? You said your second book is coming out soon?
Well, I don't know how soon. I've started on it, and I have an illustrator. The first book took many, many years developing the stories, and the process was I would write the story, and then my mom would do the illustrations, and then I would do a quilt for that story. So not only the children in the area, but also the quilters in the area have been very, very receptive to my book. And it's just been a wonderful combination of the 3 arts.
Why did you do that, though? That seems like 3 times as much work.
Yes. Well, I guess it's probably from my United Way background and the fact that I've always been a very forward-thinking person. I thought, well, I am a quilter. It sounded like a fun thing to do, especially when you realize the wide array of fabrics out there. There's so much to choose from in, you know, in every topic imaginable. So it just seemed to kind of follow being a quilter, loving the idea, and knowing that the quilts could help me with a booth as a backdrop, And it's been true because I drape my quilts over the tables, hang them, you know, in the back on the walls, and hang them over the quilt stands, and my booth looks very attractive. So it's just been a wonderful legacy. My mother with her illustrations, the stories, and the quilts.
It seems as though it's more of a legacy than a moneymaker, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not in this for the money, you're in this for the adventure.
Right. Definitely an adventure, because there are more stories forthcoming. Once you start a process like this and the floodgates open and you realize that you can write, suddenly all these different ideas keep coming. And so I have 6 more stories that I will be, you know, having an illustrator, and then having a quilt for each one also.
Well, I appreciated just having a chance to read it, even as a grown-up. It brought back for me memories of reading stories to my kids, but also, you know, and we would read aloud for hours, but also making up those stories for them, and their artwork that they would bring to me. So those were things that, as an adult, I enjoyed just reading it, but it kind of reminded me, you know, this is something that you want to focus on. This is what you want to do more of, and instead of doing less of and being more busy and finding more special events. There's always a special event. I think it's time to, and it's a great season of the year too, as it gets a little chillier, the weather's not always going to cooperate, to pull together, and instead of turning on the TV and just watching whatever that's going to, you know, send your way, but to, you know, turn it off and have some quiet time, and then rediscover some of this stuff that we have inside.
Yeah. Well, you know, storytelling is not a lost art. Children gravitate to it. All you need to do is walk into which I've done, walk into a daycare center and bring out a book. And the next thing you know, you've got 5 or 6 kids on your lap, at your feet. It just seems to be a natural love of that time together. And, you know, I just really appreciate the fact that I've been given this wonderful opportunity by my own children, my grandchildren, you know, to express this love of storytelling and writing. So it's been wonderful. This love of storytelling and writing. So it's been wonderful.
It's amazing how fast time goes around here. We're almost down to the last couple minutes in the show. You're going to be in Oswego at Emerson Creek Pottery for their holiday fair, and you'll have the book there.
Yes, I will.
And we can buy it there. You also have quilt-stories.com.
Yes.
And there can we find out more about where you are and see some more.
Right.
And can we buy the book?
Right. All of the above.
You can buy the book from the website.
My website tells a little bit about my background and my mom's, and then also provides an opportunity to order the book, and it has an events page. So it will tell where I'm going to be in November and December. So,
well, I would say get online and check that out and find out more about where she's going to be. Maybe order your book, but I think you really want to be wherever Linda's going to be, because now I have to see those beautiful quilts. And you know, we've only done like half the interview. Now I got to find out about the quilts. Next time you come, you need to bring quilts.
Yes, thank you.
I would love it.
Yeah,
I would love it.
Happy to do it.
So much fun having you here, and thank you for sharing us. This is Grandma, Please Tell Us a Story, and the cover doesn't even do it justice. The pictures inside are magnificent. You are just going to be so surprised when you see this. It's a real joy. So I want to thank Linda Brodine for being my guest, and I hope you have a great day. We'll see you next time.